DSLRs have revolutionized the video production industry in their just few years of being on the market. They've really opened up doors in creativity and inspiration for filmmakers all across the country. Filming with a DSLR definitely has its challenges and its hurdles, but when you get it right and you know what you're doing, it's definitely a joy to use. It's all about setting the camera right. There's three main settings that you'll have to adjust: the aperture, the ISO, and the shutter speed. So the ISO is how light sensitive the sensor inside the camera is. Adjusting that is pretty simple, really. It's, ISO 100 is the least light sensitive. It'd be perfect for daylight, while ISO 1600 would be great for nighttime, as long as your camera doesn't pick up too much noise. Shutter speed is the next thing we'll talk about. It's vital for getting that look you want, and it tells the camera how long to expose each image you take. You'll hear the words frame rate and frames per second. Those two words are very different than shutter speed. Frames per second refers to your camera and how fast it will take photos. Shutter speed is just how long each one of those photos is exposed for. The exposure can be anywhere from 30 seconds long to 1/8,000th of a second. So setting the shutter speed is very important, but what may be most important is your aperture and the lens you choose. An A77, which is sometimes sold with a kit lens, that's a 16 by 50 millimeter f2.8. And those two sets of numbers are the ones you have to really look at when you're buying a lens. The 16 by 50 millimeter is telling you the focal length. So 16 millimeters will be a wide field of view, while 50 millimeters will be a much more narrow field of view. While f2.8 is telling you how wide the lens can open, how much light it'll let in. The lower the number, the better. Sony A77 here has a lot of really cool features that really give it an edge against the competitors. Instead of looking through a glass viewfinder like typically you'd see, it's actually a screen in there. It's a LED viewfinder. Another feature that really makes the A77 stand out is that it'll take 12 frames per second. Typical other competitors are somewhere around 5 to 7 frames per second. The feature that I really like most on this A77 camera is the screen on the back. You can really get an interesting angle, an interesting point of view, and still have a view of the screen to be able to adjust your camera just how you need it. The difference between exceptional DSLR footage and just average footage is a very fine line, and it really depends on the gear you're using to complement your DSLR. The body by itself is useless. You need a good lens, you need a good set of tripod legs, you need a good microphone to really pick up that audio in the field.
They're about 200 yards up the creek bottom, so we haven't seen them yet. But
purchasing a DSLR really opens up a lot of doors for you creatively. It allows you a lot of opportunities to really think outside the box and really get the exact shot that you visualize. If you have any questions for us, just feel free to email us or contact us in any way. You can email us at info@rockredpursuits.com. Feel free to check out the whole selection of cameras and lenses and gear, everything you may need at campbellcameras.com. They have a great selection and a great staff that'd be willing to help you with any questions you may have. Buying the gear is really the easy part when it comes to the process. It's exciting, but at the same time, it's kind of a challenge to yourself. You need to really learn as much as you can about the camera you're using so that you can really utilize it and put all that money you spent to good use. The most important thing is to get out there and create, to really enjoy what you're doing, have a lot of fun, and most importantly, get out there and make it your own.